everyone, and welcome to another edition of Saturday Night 5. Tonight's episode is very, very special episode. It's a very unique episode, this episode. It's more of a tribute, really, because as of this recording, Sunday, September 14th, would have been my grandpa Tony's 100th birthday. It's crazy to think about that, that he would have met. Had he still been here, he would have been 100. But this is going to be a fun episode in regards to, like, as you saw in the title, these are my top. These are, well, here, not even top 5, because it's just, you can't rank these. There's so many memories, so many years of memories I've had with this man that you can't really rank them. I mean, we just listed them off because that's just what the show does, but it's not, the order doesn't matter for this one especially. So it's 5 favorite memories of my grandpa Tony, essentially. Spoiler alert, this might be the only episode where I break the format and maybe say a little bit more than 5, give a little more examples than 5 within the 5, because it's so hard to pick just 5, five favorites, but I love every single one of my grandparents, but I've always said my brother and I both were always closest with Grandpa Tony. But like I said, other than that, we love, love and miss each and every one of them, each and every day since they've been gone. It's unfortunate all the stuff they have missed. My wedding and Nick's wedding as the main 2. But yeah. Let's just start, shall we, with number 5. Now, also, you know how I give you like video or pictures or something with this episode is going to be hard to do that because a lot of these are kind of you had to be there moments. So this is mostly just going to be a bunch of stories about my grandpa, which is good too. Which editing wise is good too, because I don't have to, do as much editing with the graphics and all that, and put in certain videos and stuff. Possibly, I'm thinking for the vlog, there will be some sort of I just realized at the end of this episode there will be a small tribute to my grandpa, but picture tribute. But aside from that, like I said, I think for my vlog, I am going to do something special, video related. I'm not sure yet what my Cubs had, by the way. He was a big Cubs fan. But So yeah, so just stay tuned for that, and just know that it's not as much editing that I've been doing, for other episodes. Um, so this is kind of a weird one, but listening to my grandpa and grandma, fight or argue with each other is I mean, believe me, they loved each other, but you know how one drove the other one nuts, and it's just I don't know. There was these couple times, or they couldn't like hear each other. I'll never forget. There's one time. I'm trying to think. Yes. Okay. So they flew in because I think we had them living in down here at this point, but they flew in to my graduation, for my high school graduation, and they're in my brother's room. They stayed in my brother's room, um, and uh, so they stayed in my brother's room. Nick stayed in my room, and it's one morning, and I hear them in from the other room, and it's the middle of it's it's the morning, and they're in bed, so neither one of them have their hearing aids in. I hear grandma say something to grandpa, and next thing this is exactly the exchange that I hear from that as follows. She said something. I forgot what she said to him, but then he goes, "What did you say?" And then she goes, "What? What did you say? What?" Neither one did hear what the other one's saying. He said this 3 times. What did you say? What? He goes, "Forget it." What? Forget it. Well, then this other time, uh, we were in, I want to say Biloxi, Mississippi, I think, or that or Missouri, somewhere that had a casino, because that's where the parents were, and grandma and grandpa stayed back at the hotel with us that night. And grandpa's sorting out his pills for the morning, right? So grandma's like, "What are you doing?" And she can't hear what she's because she must have had her hearing aids off at the time because it's nighttime now. And get my grandpa's like, "I'm getting my pills." She goes, "What?" "I get my pills." She she says "what" a lot. She goes, "What?" And then he's like, he said, "This is like, okay, you know that scene in Christmas Vacation where it's Aunt Bethany and Uncle Lewis, and Lewis like, they want you to say grace, the blessing." This is similar to that. How he says what he's about. He knows. She's like, "What? What? What are you doing?" He goes, "My penis." Like literally, just like that. That's how he said it to her. "My pills." I'm dying. I'm in bed. Nick and I are in bed. And I'm just laughing my ass off. Listening to these two. Oh, it was so funny. Again, a lot of the stuff is you had to be there, but you know, this year, at the end of this year, at the end of this month, I'm trying to think. Let me think. So 20. So we celebrated the 60th in 2011. Yeah, we celebrated the 60th in 2011. 70th would have been 2021. So that means this year would have been their 74th wedding anniversary. And, um, they were together for 61 years, because my grandpa passed in 2013, and then my grandmother passed in 2016. But that's a long time. And but just some of the stuff they would say to each other and the arguments they would get into each other. I just thought of something else. See, this is what I'm saying. It's technically 5, but there's going to be a lot. It's grouped together in just collections of memories. Because I can't choose 5. I'm sorry. I should call this 5-ish memories. 5-ish favorite memories, because it's a lot more than it is. We're going to we're either coming home from Louisiana, from driving to Louisiana, or we're going to Louisiana. And Grandpa, for whatever reason, he's reading every sign and billboard on the way. And Grandma's like, "Why are you reading every sign? Stop reading every sign." And then Grandpa's about to do it again, but he's or when it's that same trip. Now that I think about it, nothing to do with Grandma this time, but just to do with him. He had either my CD player or the Discman, or my brother's, and we had this is obviously the way home, because I had gotten a Lou Bega, Lou Bega, excuse me, Louis Prima CD. Lou Bega, that's not no Louis Prima CD from my godfather, because that's who we saw in Louisiana. They live in Louisiana. My aunt and uncle, my aunt said and Uncle Tony, and so he's listening to the Lou Bega CD. Damn it, Louis Prima CD. I don't like to call him. And he's dancing. Oh, sure, I just thought of something else. Oh no. Oh, this is gonna be, guys. The format's out the window for this episode. This is a whole tribute to my grandpa Tony, essentially. I just thought of another story dealing with the Discman. Anyways, so he's listening to this Louis Prima CD. Said it right that time, and what is it? The I Ain't Got Nobody. Just a Gigolo, right? Just a Gigolo's on. He's like, yeah, don't lie to me. He's getting down to it, and he's singing along. So he's singing along in the car, and then the big finish goes, ah. I don't know. It's funnier if you were there. I know, but to me, the way this man made me laugh throughout the years is just, that's the biggest thing I take away, from him not being here, is just all the times he made me laugh. And just, so the other time I was going to say was when we were on a plane and he was sitting next to Nick, and Nick was listening. Well, he was wondering what Nick was listening to. It was the WWF Forcible Entries CD, right? For those that know. So he gave it to Grandpa, and he's getting down to that. he doesn't know what the hell he's saying, but he's saying, I think it was Jericho's theme. Jericho. I don't know. So we've gone off the rails, and it's only 20 minutes in. It's like 17 minutes in, but it's like, I'm sorry. Where were we? Okay. Oh yeah, it was him and my grandma. But again, I'm gonna throw in one thing that will lead to another, and it's just gonna be hard. So, this let's go to number 4. I guess we've gone off rails already. But let's go to number 4. So my 4th favorite memory kind of goes along with the 5th, but this is one you'd have to be there for it into. Like I said, a lot of this was. I know I sound like a broken record, but I apologize. So I mentioned on my vlog before, I'm pretty sure, hell, I mentioned, I think on a few episodes ago, yeah, I did. I think it was the 4th of July episode I might have mentioned, or the summer vacation episode. It was either the summer vacation episode or the 4th of July one, where my family had some wild barbecues back in the day, some fun barbecues back in the day. And, we'd always get together and stuff. This was around July. It wasn't the 4th of July, but it was like in July that we had a family and friends over. And this was in either 2000. I want to say 2000. I'm pretty sure 2000. Yeah, 2000 sounds right. And so one thing we used to do is we would play bingo. The whole family would play bingo, but for like prizes. Now here's for numbers that were matched with different prizes. So like if you won bingo, you would get to pick a number, and we would do this until all the numbers were done, or everyone had a number. Everyone was ensured to have a number. I think that's how it worked. Something like that. I can't remember how in detail it was. Well, regardless, so we're playing this game. We're doing the number. We're passing out the gifts at the end of the game, right? Passing out the gifts. Grandpa's number comes up. He grabs his gift. Now, granted, everyone was supposed to wait to open their gifts until we all had them. But Grandpa being Grandpa, he couldn't wait. So he opens it up because he's not supposed to. And it was like a tree topper, like a star, right? He goes, "Ooh, a star! A star is born, Rosie." He started to, Grandma Rose. A star is born, Rose. And people, you're not supposed to always say, "Oh." And then the funny thing was, what's even funnier is that he was trying to trade the star at the end of the day. Just then, after everyone's gifts were handed out, and they could open the gifts, and you were allowed to trade with people if you didn't like what you had, So you were allowed to trade. And this is nothing like, it wasn't never anything extravagant. These were all like little like knickknacks or like little things, or not too, nothing too, there was a budget for the when picking out these prizes, mind you. This is so funny. So yeah, and then of course, another memory I have. Well, I don't have it personally because I was only a baby at the time, but thanks to home videos, the way this man picks teams for one of the games they were doing, what they were going to do, right? So you think two teams of like what, maybe 5 or 6, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. This was for team 1, right? He just points at random people and he's like, here, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And he goes, 2, 2, 2, 2. What I am part Polish, so I can say this. What a Polak. Because he was Polish. Swansky was their last name. Oh, man. So, and then, man, it's just the stuff. Yeah, I don't know how he comes up with this stuff. I don't know what goes on in that man's head. Number 3. Yeah, that's number 3. So this one is like going to be a quick one. As far as I know, I hope. Yeah, no, it will. As you know, back in episode, was it 4? No, yeah, 4, right? I'm pretty sure it was 4. Yes, it was 4 of this show. My top 5 favorite SNL movies. I mentioned the Blues Brothers, and I mentioned how my brother and I did some Blues Brothers routines throughout the years. Well, it was for my parents' 25th anniversary for the Blues Brothers. Back up. It was for my 20. Back up. It was for my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. There we go. At Contemporary, Disney's Contemporary Resort. And normally, for these Blues Brothers shows, Dad would introduce us to the crowd as the Blues Brothers. Well, for this, since it was their anniversary, this time we had Grandpa Tony do it. And so there he is. He's in his little, he's in his polo and his jacket on and his suspenders underneath. And, he's got his sunglasses and a hat. He's like Cab Calloway, if you will. Natural Cab Calloway. A Polish Cab Calloway. So anyways, he's walking down there and all that. Everything was fine, except during the intro, he called, it was Elwood, it's Elwood Blues and Joliet Jake, for Joliet, instead of Joliet, though, he goes, the duo of Joliet Jake and Elwood Blues, the Blues Brothers. So with that little mess up aside, it was still adorable, and I'm so happy that he got to do that. And as he's happily walking back to his seat on camera, you got him saying, "I did my part." Oh man. So yeah, that was another favorite thing that I remember him doing. All right, number 2 is going to be another big set of memories. Actually, those next 2 are going to be a couple of big set of memories. So let's go to number 2. My second favorite memory of my Grandpa Tony has to be just playing games with him, whether it be board games, card games. The man loved his cards. He loved playing solitaire. Well, you play solitaire by yourself, you know. But then he loved. We had what? There was a game called Teams in the Corner. He loved Teams in the Corner. He loved playing um, the Crazy Eights or 7 Up, 7 Down, or freaking this game that he calls 500. That he makes up the rules as he goes along. He cheats. You know, he's I'll never forget it. Oh man, playing the game one day and he just cheated. And, and it was just so frustrating to play that game with him because you know he was gonna cheat. But so good. And then so the thing of it is you know, board games, man. I can't tell you how many times I slept over at my grandparents' house. And man, that's another memory I love. Just sleeping over at your grandparents' house. Man, both sets. You know, my dad's side and then my mom's side. You know, my Grandpa Bud and Grandma Jean's house, or being over at Grandpa Tony and Grandma Rose's. And I'm over at Grandpa Tony and Grandma Rose's, and I just remember, you know, the times I would play Scrabble Junior or Scrabble for juniors with him. How many times? I can't tell you. Because we would have a lot of fun playing just that one game a lot of the time, for most of the time. We played Candyland, his arch nemesis, Candyland, because every time he picked up a card, he always had to go back to the start or something like that. He would always draw that one card that takes him back to the start. He was always frustrated with that too. But I can't remember what game we were playing. One time he really got frustrated. Like, it was either Chinese checkers or literally aggravation. I can't remember. Nick knows this better than I do, but it was against Nick. He was playing Nick, and he thought Nick cheated, and he got really mad, like legit mad. And we're like, Grandpa, calm down. It's only a game. What the fuck? And Nick got all upset. I mean, it's funny. It's funny now because it's like, what the hell? Like, why? It's just a game, Grandpa. Chill. But I mean, he you know, he forgave him. Or he apologized later on, but it was just so funny. Um, but yeah. Oh, and there was these things that used to, you know. Okay, so like, you know, what do you call them? Hold on. You know, curling, the Olympic sport, curling. Well, okay, they had these mini like roller things called sliders, appropriately named. There's they would look like this, and we had two sets. We had orange and blue ones. Well, my grandpa and we created this game. Speaking of creating games, I just thought, see what I'm saying? Stay tuned. But anyway, so we created this game where we take the sliders, we're at the kitchen table, and it was a long kitchen table, you know, so we slide them across the table, and if they're close to the edge without falling, it's a point. If it's if it's hanging a little bit over the edge, we would call it, you know, lip. We would call it the lip. You know, if it's like it's if it's just a teeny bit over the edge, it's 2 points, and the first to 11 wins. I wish I had this on film though, because he won. No, because when he slid it, he slid it. No, that's another inside joke. He slid the slider over, and he's like, what is it? And I go, it was like 2 points, whatever. I'm like, it's two. He's like, "You're living," da 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 da, and he got up out of his chair and he's all dancing around the all excited that he won. Oh man! So speaking of creating games, it's a nice summer day out. We're outside. We have this giant ass swing set, right? And one of the swings from that swing set was like, okay, it was like a two-seater. It was like one person sits here, the other person sits across, and you like swing back and forth, right? Well, um, so I fit out with that, and we had this giant purple ball, right? And so we made baseball game out of it. What would happen is one person would swing on that swing, and Grandpa would throw the ball to the swing, and the swing was supposed to, obviously play the part of the bat and hit the ball and hit and hit the ball, and then if you hit it, you go to base or whatever. Well, Grandpa immediately regretted that game when he threw it at Nick. Nick, I mean, you can't control this. There was no controlling this. The swing hits it directly into Grandpa Tony's face. I'm sorry, I can't. And then his glasses come off. He's like, "That's it, no more." Oh God! Oh, poor Grandpa. Oh, it was so good. It was fun. It was. I mean, the poor guy. He was okay. He was okay, but just oh man, holy shit! Oh, so it was always fun to play with them. Oh man. So yeah, just playing games with him, and especially card games, always one of my top favorite memories. But I'll tell you what, some of the funniest memories I have happened in number one. I'm just going to call this memories from Wisconsin Dells, because every single time we went to Wisconsin Dells as with the family, we drove up. Something hilarious always happened. Oh my God. So I'll save. Okay, hold on. Where do I begin? So okay, one time we were there and we saw this show, and it was like a doo-wop. It was like a singing. There was they were singing oldie songs, and then both my grandparents, especially my grandpas, they're really into the old stuff. They love the old stuff. Well, I remember they tried to pit people from the audience for certain songs, and they tried to pick my dad's dad, my Grandpa Bud, but he wasn't having any of that. He's like, "Nope, I don't play by the rules. I don't like fun. I'm not. No, I'm not going." So then they chose Grandpa Tony, and we're like, "Yeah, pick him, take him." And he, being the good sport that he is, he went up there, and he was the oh my God, he got to be the one-eyed, one-horned purple people eater, or however the song goes. A giant purple people, I think that's what it was. And he was wearing this giant purple people eater costume. Tears. I was in tears from laughing so hard seeing this. I can't even. I mean, I remember seeing it, but I was dying laughing the entire time. So it was hard to remember seeing it. But those pictures, those pictures, those you ain't gonna be able. I'm not gonna be able to dig out those pictures, unfortunately. And I don't know. I don't think there was video for that, but just yeah, that was a hilarious thing. And then oh damn it, there'll be honorable mentions after this. I don't care anymore. Then, because I just thought of something else that should have been included in the list that wasn't. I'm sorry. Oh no, actually, well, all right, never mind. I'm getting sidetracked today. I'm sorry. A lot of sidetracking this episode. I apologize, but it's just all these memories coming back to me at once, and it's like Then there was a magic show. Rick Wilcox's Magic, right? We're in the front row. That was, obviously we were in the pits. Nick actually got to do something that night too, but Grandpa gets picked for something. I think it was like the part where they cut the lady in half, and first the magician asked him to fasten, because it was she had this she had a strap like a leather choker almost around her neck, so that they could pull it down. I don't know. It was very weird. Or to pull it, yeah, they were going to pull it apart. That's what they were going to do. They were going to pull it apart. They were in charge of pulling it apart, rather. And and so so Grandpa does it. He's having a hard time doing it. He's fiddling around. He's like, "You got it, Tony?" Yeah. He's like, "Okay." So now, when I tell you to pull back, and he starts pulling back, and she's like, "Ooh!" He's like, "Not yet, Tony." and then, when the box is closed and he has one of the blades not all the way in, but he's in, he's like, "Can you, check and see if she's in there, she's okay or whatever?" Yeah, and he had two people do this. So the one guy looks, he's like, "Yeah, okay." Grandpa's looking, and then he was about to push the blade in. He touches the blade. He's like, "No, Tony, don't touch the blade." So, oh my God. Just so, like, you can't, I don't understand how, oh man, it's like you had to be there. If you, again, the things this man has done is just incredible. And the times I've had with him, unforgettable memories. And then, of course, the big one. So here it is. But before I get to the big one, I wanted to mention, I forgot what episode of Jeff's Life it was, but there is one where I do a home movie highlights, and I watch. Oh, it was from last year because it was 1990. Yeah, it was the 30th anniversary of the time that all 10 of us went to Disney for the first time, and Superstar Television. Grandparents did pick for the Golden Girls skit. Grandpa had one line. "Let's go, honey, before we welcome." He practiced it. He was all excited about it. He was getting ready. He goes, "It's showtime. The camera's on him. Let's go, honey, before we're out of time." He messed up his line. The one line that he had. So that was that real quick. But back to Wisconsin Dells. So I forgot what. I think Nick was back at the hotel swimming with the rest of the family, but me, Mom, and Grandpa Tony went to this wax museum to check out the wax museum. And by the way, so I think where we were with the hotel and we were like downtown Wisconsin Dells or something. It was very close. It was walking distance. So we walked I'm pretty sure we walked to that, or we took the car and we dropped it off, and then we walked around the Dells in the. I think one way or another. Um, but we were at this Wax Museum. Okay, towards the end of the Wax Museum, there was a spot where like you can pretend to put your head through. It was like a hole, and you could put your head through it and pretend like you were part of a wax figure or whatever, and like pretended to be a wax figure, right? I'm looking at something else, and Mom calls me over because Grandpa did just that. He put his head through the hole, and he was looking, and he looked like a wax figure. You couldn't tell, and then he started to move, and then he scared the shit out of you. But I so I'm looking at something else, and Mom's like, Jeff, come here, look at this. Look at that head. Doesn't it look like Grandpa Tony? And I'm looking, and sure enough, I'm like, hey, yeah, it does. And it starts to move. I'm like, oh my God. And it was obviously Grandpa Tony. But then he wanted to show me how to do it. He wanted to show me how to do it. So there's too many objectives. There was two holes. There was a big hole that you for the a big or the adults or the kids to go, bigger kids to go through, and there was a smaller hole for the kids. So I'm going. He's like, yeah, put your head through here. I started to do it, but then I changed the one. No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to. He's like, no, Jeff, come here. Ow! He hits his head on the opening, coming out, trying to get me. I was, I didn't want to do it. Don't ask me how old I was at the time. I forgot. I can't even remember. I can't even remember when this vacation happened. Oh my God. I want to say I wasn't a teenager yet. I know that. I don't think it was, yeah. I don't think I was a teenager yet. So it had to be within the first 10 years of my life. But anyways, nevertheless. So the next thing, right before the exit at this wax museum, for whatever reason, there was a wax sculpture of the Empire State Building. The Empire State Building. Grandpa, for whatever reason, he looks at it, and he goes, oh, I want to climb the Empire State, and then boom, there was a piece of plexiglass, as there should be, between the sculpture and the person, because probably what my grandpa was about to do, what he was trying to do, is, oh, I want to climb the Empire State Building like King Kong, right? But he instead he walked right into the glass, and I lost it. I was losing my literally walking back to the hotel or the car or something the whole time. My stomach hurt. I was laughing so hard. I couldn't breathe. I was just laughing. It was the funniest thing. And of course, it's not as funny to you if you weren't there. I understand. But to me, it was hilarious. It was the most hilarious thing. I'll always forget. Never forget. Excuse me. Always remember. And oh my God, it was great. And I miss him so damn much. Ah, fuck. I tried, guys. I tried. I wasn't gonna tear up, but 100 years, man. That's crazy. He would have been 100. I'm wearing this Tubbs hat, and he didn't even get to see. He didn't even get to see his favorite team win the World Series. I mean, granted, he probably had the best seat in the house up there. Harry Carey. But damn, man. Endless amounts of memories with my grandpa Tony that I will always cherish and remember. Grandpa, I love you. I miss you terribly. Every single day. Happy birthday. I'll be okay. Next episode, guys, we'll be back to normal scheduled episode. But thank you for allowing me to do this and just share some of my favorite memories of one of the greatest people I knew. So, all right. First of all, the fucking bright lights isn't helping. Oh. Thank you for watching Saturday Night 5. Be sure to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time for another episode of Saturday Night 5. Love you, Grandpa. Bushel in the patch. And I around the neck.